Hi friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. I have a compilation video for you with 12 of my past fall decor DIYs. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's get to crafting. Started out with 4 of these bamboo what do you call them? Cutting boards, some sticks, and some tumbling tower blocks, and then a printout that I made from my Cricut. And I'm going to start off by sanding each one of those little cutting boards. And I sand the front, the back, and the sides just because they have a little bit of a slickness to it, and I just wanted to make sure that the paint adhered to it nicely. So once I got all 4 of those sanded, I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in the color pumpkin, and I'm going to paint all 4 of them with that color, as well as 3 of those blocks. And once they were all painted, I took my sanding sponge and I'm just going around all the edges, and I am just distressing it. And I am then distress a little bit in the middle because I really love the way it looked with that wood showing through. Then I am just taking my printouts here and I am placing them on the cutting boards. Now, in case you don't know, these actually are not Kirkland, sorry, Hobby Lobby dupes, or I should say inspired by, because some of them are not exact, but they are inspired by what I found at Hobby Lobby. I really liked these signs. I thought they were really cute, but I figured I could probably make them for less than what they are selling them for, even on sale. So I decided to try my hand at this. So then with the A there, I'm putting that on with the cutting board being vertical, because if you see the ones at Hobby Lobby, they're smaller and the A is smaller and the F and L's are larger. Then I took those 3 tumbling tower blocks and I hot glued them together, and I am just adding that to the bottom of one of the last L, because they were all the same size, the 2 L's and the F, and the Hobby Lobby one, the last L is a little taller, so I thought this would give it some height. So I'm just using some wood glue and some hot glue, and I'm gluing that to the bottom of that last L piece. And then once that was attached, I have to first wipe off all that excess glue because I went a little heavy-handed with the glue. Wanted to make sure it stands correctly. I went ahead and put the A board and up against the F and marked where I want to place it and where I want to put the glue, and then I did that with the L as well, so that way I know exactly where to place the glue and where to lay that board when I am gluing them together. So once I have that all marked out, I take the same thing, the wood glue and the hot glue, and I lay those in on the boards. And then I will put those together, and I will do the same thing with that last L as well. And this is really, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be, and it looks really close to the original. I'm very happy with it. In fact, I just love it. I've got it up on my bookshelf and I just love the way it looks. So then after that, I went and got some more of those tumbling tower blocks, and I am just using some wood glue and hot glue, and I'm putting them all along the back just to help it stand up straight. Then I took 4 of these little pieces of wood. I got these off of Amazon. You can find the link to it in my description box, and I hot glued each one on the top to make it look like a pumpkin stem. Then I took some raffia that I believe I got this one from Walmart, and I am just making a bow, which I did on each one of those stems. And then after I make that bow, I am going to take some leaves that I got off of some plants or some stems that I had already used the flowers on, and I'm just going to hot glue 1 leaf on each one of those blocks there underneath the bow. And really, after I hot glue all of those on, that is it for this DIY. And it was really easy. In fact, like I said, I was kind of surprised at how easy it was and how quick it came together. And it just looks really cute. And I've got what, four, I don't even, let's say maybe $6 into it at the most. Taking those blocks, and I am going to glue together six uh, blocks, and I'm going to make 4 strips of 6. And then after I got those all hot glued together, I went and hot glued 4 strips of 5. And then once those were all done, I took 2 of those strips of 5 and hot glued them together. And then the other 2, I hot glue those together as well, so that ends up having 2 strips of 10. And then I did the same thing with the other strips. I took the 2 strips of 6 and hot glued them together, so that I had 2 strips of 12, if that makes sense. Oh, that's confusing. Then I took my Waverly antique wax, and I am brushing it on with a paintbrush and then just wiping it off with a napkin, just to give it that nice stained wood look. And I just really love how this came out. And again, this sign before the sale is $49 at Hobby Lobby. Granted, my sign's a little bit smaller than theirs, but even at $49, you're still paying above $25 on sale at Hobby Lobby, and this is going to cost me less than $5, you guys. Less than $5. And it looks so good. So I then took my foam board and I just made 3 lines to make it look like shiplap. And then I took my seine and I am just adhering it to that foam board. And I had a little bit of a hard time here. I had a new piece of transfer tape and it was not wanting to come off. And then I added those little leaves. All of this I printed off from the Cricut Design Space. Actually, the words, I think I created those myself, but the leaves I got from Cricut Design Space. Then I'm taking some hot glue and some wood glue, and I am just gluing those wood pieces to the foam board, creating a frame. And once I am done with that, I'm going to do something a little different. In the original piece, it does not have any kind of distressing, but I felt like that white was just a little too white, and I felt like it needed some distressing. So I will be distressing that as soon as I get this last piece attached. If you guys like what you see, and you're not following me, I would invite you to hit that subscribe button and become part of our little family. I'd love to have you join, and let me know that you're here. Comment in the comment box and let me know that you're here. So once I had all that done and ready, I went ahead and took the back out of my frame. And you'll see me here, I thought it was just a piece of paper there, but it's glued on. So after trying to take it off, I decided I'm just going to take off the little flower there. And I take my little Cricut spatula and scrape off the little piece there. And then I'm just going to outline or trace out where I need to cut my paper to fit that. And then I cut it out. Once it's cut out, I do add some hot glue to the picture, and then I will put that paper over the top of that. And then once I'm done with that, I will put it right inside that frame. I was going to paint that frame, and I just thought those colors, the color of that frame with that paper just looked wonderful. So I just left it alone. So then I took this sign and I took off the hanger, and I do a sanding of that glitter because I wanted to make sure there was no glitter. Even though I wasn't using that side, I didn't want to have glitter everywhere. So I took my cashew paint and painted the front, and then I'm taking my Waverly antique wax, and I'm going to do some dry brushing on it. Now I apologize that I did not show you my putting the decal on that sign. I was recording and it was pulling off the paint when I was putting it on, so I stopped my recording to fix it and must have forgot to re-record once I got it on. But I did get it on, and then now I'm just doing a dry brush all over it just to give it that weathered farmhouse look. And then once I was done with that, I'm going to take some of those little glue dots, and I'm going to use a little hot glue on it to give it some extra strength, and glue that onto the back of that sign, and then I'm going to glue it onto the middle of our big sign there. And then once I get that on there, I'm going to take the Sola wood flowers, and I'm going to use some hot glue, and I'm just going to glue them around the bottom of that frame. Now, if you have not used these before, I do recommend that if you're going to use hot glue, you have it on a lower temperature if you can, and don't put as very much on it because these are pretty fragile and I would hate for you to melt them. If you have not used these before, I will have a link in my description box for them. They are beautiful flowers. I absolutely love using them. They come in dyed or raw, and these came in the dyed colors that I chose, but you can also order them raw and order the dye, and I have some of those as well, and I will have a video in the future showing how to do that. But I absolutely love these. You can use them for weddings, you can use them for DIYs, you can just use them for just about anything. If you haven't tried them, I would suggest giving them a try. They always have some really good sales going on, and I absolutely love them. So once I had them all on, I grabbed some ribbon that I bought from Hobby Lobby, and I'm measuring them out to about 24 inches. And then I am just going to make some bows, and I just cross the legs there, and then I scrunch in the middle. And once I have it all scrunched in like I want it, I will use a twist tie to go wrap around the middle to hold it in place. Once I get it held in place, I'm going to do the same thing with the smaller ribbon, and then I'm going to attach it to that bigger ribbon using that twist tie as well. And if you guys want a better tutorial on bows, let me know in the comment box and I will work on doing that for you. And then once I have those two connected, I am going to take some jute twine and I am going to tie a knot in the back of those bows, and then I will wrap that twine around that zip tie so it hides it, and then I will tie it together in the back. And then once I have that all completed, I will go through and trim up the bottom of those ribbons. I will do dovetailing, which you just fold in half and then cut at an angle. And once I was done, I hot glued them to the top of the frame. And then I will take one more of those Sola wood flowers and hot glue it to the middle of the bow. I took two of these signs from the Dollar Tree. I used my Cricut spatula to take off the leaf that was on this one, and then the other one had a pumpkin. And then I do take my sanding sponge there and try and sand off as much of that glitter on them as I could as well. Then I take my staple remover and I remove the hangers from the back of both of those signs. And then once I was done with that, I take some painter sticks, the regular size, and I am using my miter shears to cut the ends of them at an angle, and I believe I did a 120-degree angle on both of those. Now these sticks I did get off of Amazon. I will put that link in my description box as well, but I know you can get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. And Walmart does hand you some for free if you want to do that as well. Then I go in and I mark where I'm going to lay them, although where I mark here is not what I end up doing because I saw that it was crooked, so I played with it until I had it where I wanted it. And then I take my box cutter and I am just scoring along those marked lines until I was able to get it cut off. And it took a little bit to get it cut off. Then once those were done, once I had that at an angle, I went and put those sticks back where they're going to sit, and then I marked where I was going to cut those, and I used my miter shears and I cut them down in like 6 pieces, so 3 on each side, as you can see right there. Then I took all of those pieces and put them aside, and then I took my Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster and I paint both of those boards. I give them both, I think I only did 1 coat. I might have done 2, I don't remember. But that's really up to you. It depends. If you want it to have a little more of a rustic look, you could only do 1. Then I take my Waverly chalk paint in the color hazelnut and I paint those words, those letters that I got from Hobby Lobby, as well as those little cutouts that I created earlier. And then once they were all dry, I took my Waverly Antique Wax and a baby wipe, and I am just going along the edge with the dark color, and then I use the cleaner part of that baby wipe to just kind of wipe it off and blend it in. And I absolutely love the way these came out and the way they look. They are just gorgeous. And they look a lot like the picture, in my opinion. Then I take my wood glue that I got from the automotive section at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put some on those little pieces that we had cut. And I got a little too much there, so I'm wiping it off with my finger and adding it to the other one, because I knew if I put it on that thick, it was going to go everywhere. Then I add some hot glue to the bottom part, so that I can have that immediate hold, and then I'm just going to glue those 2 pieces on the top, and then I will add the other 2 pieces to each side, doing the same thing. Then I took these printouts that I did off of Cricut and I put them onto the top. Once those were on, I turned it around and I am using some jumbo popsicle sticks that I got from Walmart, and I am going to hot glue those 2 boards together right there in the middle. Now, in case you don't know, I do always list the supplies that I use and where I got them in my description box, in case you're ever wondering. Then I take these letters and I am going to have them spread apart about 1.5 inches, and I just hot glue them on the board, spacing them apart. Once they are all hot glued on, I did take some jute twine and wrapped it around the bottom, and then I took some more paint sticks and added them behind those signs to give it a little more strength, so that it didn't feel as flimsy. And then I'm using some packing paper, and I am just hot gluing it to the back of that sign to cover it up and to give it a more finished look. And that is it. So I start off by removing the hanger and then sanding off all of that glitter. And I have to tell you, there was a ton of glitter on this thing. And you can see on my table, it's just piled up there. So once I had the glitter off of both of those signs, I took my little ladybug vacuum and vacuumed it all up. And then I'm just using one of the signs, like you see there, I put it on top of the other one, and I'm just tracing out the bottom piece. And then I'm going to use my box cutter to score it, because I wanted it to look oval, not like a jar. So I just scored this, I don't know, maybe 10 times or so, and then it breaks through. And once it breaks through, I just kind of ripped off the paper, and there it goes.
Then I'm going to use my wood glue and some hot glue to attach those two babies because I want them to stay connected. And of course, the hot glue is for immediate hold, and then the wood glue is for the permanent hold. So after I had those two connected there, I am going to paint both sides with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. After that, I took my elephant color and I'm going to do some distressing all around the top part of my tray here, but I wasn't happy with the way it was looking. So I took my white and I used the same brush and I'm just like smearing it in to where the gray is, and I loved this so much better. And after that, I took some of the beads, the size that I needed, and I laid them out on some painter's tape, and I'm just painting them. And then once they were dry, I just rolled them over and I painted the back side of them. After that, I took my decal here and I'm just going to put it on the top part of my tray. And then once I have this on, look how beautiful. I'm going to remove that second ply from my napkin. You always want to remove the second ply, otherwise the second ply will be stuck to your sign, not the top part. Then I'm going to use my Mod Podge and I'm going all over where I'm going to put that, and I set it aside to dry. Once it was dry, and it only takes, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, I'm laying my napkin out where I want it, and I don't know what happened. Somehow I cut that pumpkin out, so I'm just laying it, getting it all right where it should be, making sure all the lines matched up. And then I'm going to lay my parchment paper on top of it, and I'm going to use my little heat press. Now I do have this heat press in my Amazon store if you're interested in it, and I'm just going to go over that napkin just a little bit, and it sets it right in. It reactivates that glue and it sets it right in. Then I just put some more Mod Podge on the top, let it dry, and then I do the same thing with the heat press and the parchment paper just to make sure there's no wrinkles. And that's what I love about that technique. It really gives you very little wrinkles. So then I just took my the end piece, the end string, and I hot glued that to the top of my tray, and then I just start hot gluing each one of these beads. Now if you have more time on your hand, I'd recommend using like E6000 or something like that. That's a little more permanent super glue, but for video purposes I'm using the hot glue. And then I'm just going all the way around just like you see here. And then after that, I took some more of those beads that I had painted, and I'm just using them as feet and just adding them onto the bottom of my tray. Then I took my elephant chalk paint and I am just going to do a light distressing over the top of those beads. And I kept finding glue strings everywhere and it was driving me nuts. And then once I have this all done, I'm going to take these curlers I got from Dollar Tree and I'm going to use the wire that's inside of them. And so I'm just going to start by cutting that little top piece off. And then I'm going to pull out the wire and take that other little cap off, and then I'm going to use my needle nose pliers to just open that curved part, as you'll see. And then I have these beads. I'm not sure where I got them. I think they might be Dollar Tree, but I'm not positive. I painted them white. They weren't just the natural color. And I'm going to use 2 on each one of those wires to make the handle. And then once I have them in place where I wanted them, I closed that loop again on the end, and then I am just kind of shaping the handle the way I want it. So here I'm just marking this. I'm divided it up in 3. Of course, it was a little off, but it took me a while to do this, you guys. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking it was 7 inches instead of 10 inches, and it wasn't coming out right. But anyways, I finally got it out, or got it right, and I am using my square ruler here to make my lines across. And once I have this all lined up, I'm going to cut out that vinyl to match that middle section, and I'm just using my little paper cutter here. I love this thing, you guys. It is so smooth and it cuts straight, which is much more than I can say for myself. And then I'm just going to take those 4 tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to hot glue 2 of them together, just like you see. So I have 2 strips of 2. And then I am going to paint the top portion and the bottom portion. I'm going to use my antique wax. I'm just going to brush it on and then wipe off the excess. And then I also did this on the back so that it's all covered. It looks nice. After I had that all done, I did the same thing with my tumbling tower blocks. I just brushed it all on, wiped off the excess, and we are good to go. And this stuff dries really fast too. Which is, it's really nice when you're crafting because you don't have to wait very long. So after I have this all done, then I am going to take that paper and I'm going to put it right over that. Now, I don't even know why I measured. I didn't even have to measure or draw those lines because I knew I was going to be covering it. But anyways, it works. So after I have that vinyl on there, I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife to cut off the excess that was on the ends there. I don't know what is wrong with I think my allergies are bothering me. Anyways. Okay, so then I'm taking my same super glue, and I'm just going on the back of my leather word here. And then I'll use hot glue on the ends just so that we have that immediate hold and permanent hold going on. And then after I am done with that, I'm just going to put it right in the middle of my sign, just like you see there. And then I'm going to take those tumbling tower blocks and I'm going to hot glue one to the front and one to the back. That way we have a stand. And then I took 2 different ribbons and I just made a bow just like I did on the first one. And I tied my knots. And then I took this ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree and I made a awareness ribbon and scrunched it up and put it on top of the other bows. And then I'm just wrapping it with that twine and then tying a knot to hold it in place. After I have that all done, I'm going to trim off that excess twine and then hot glue it to the top part of my wood round sign here. After that, I took this mini mums. I think I got those last year at Dollar Tree, and these maple leaves, and I cut off the ends of those maple leaves, and I'm just going to hot glue one on each side, just like you see me doing there. And then I'm going to add my flowers as well. Now, I don't know if you guys know this trick, but those leaves were a little bit bent, so I just used my heat gun. I just put it right on the bent area, and you will, within a few seconds, it will straighten out. So I started off by laying those wood pieces all out, and then I'm going to use my jumbo craft sticks to adhere them together. I just put some wood glue and hot glue on each one of them and then lay them on the back side of my wood sign. And then once I had them all finished, I'm going to paint it, but I wanted it to be more like a stain. So I added some water to my paint here, and I wasn't quite sure how much water to use. So I'm just kind of mixing it, trying to get it to a thinner consistency. And I start painting it on, and I just felt like it was still too dark because I wanted you to be able to kind of see the wood grain through it. So I just started spritzing some water, and that really helped thin it out. And so I do this throughout the whole board. I just get it all nice and coated, and then I'm going to start adding my sayings just like I want them off to the side a little bit so I have room for my decor on the left side of it. If you're new here and you like thrift flips, gift ideas, budget home decor on a budget, and holiday decor, then I would invite you to hit that red subscribe button and become part of our YouTube family. And then let me know in the comment box below that you are new. I love to get to know my subscribers, and I'd love to get to know you. I normally upload my videos on Mondays at 5 Central Time p.m., but I do participate a lot in different challenges and playlists throughout the week. So if you hit that notification bell, that will let you know when I have a video coming up. And if you like today's video, you guys, make sure you give me that thumbs up and comment, because you all know that helps my channel grow. It lets YouTube know that you like my content, and it will push it out for others to see so that they are able to get some inspiration as well. Oh, I got through that. I need my coffee, you guys. I haven't even had my coffee yet this morning. Anyways, it's going to be a busy day, so I had to start early. So here I am, and I just love it. It says, very thankful, incredibly grateful, unbelievably blessed. And I really loved that. And so I'm just getting my last words on here. And by the way, this is Dollar Tree vinyl. I figured the words and letters are big enough to use the Dollar Tree vinyl. One thing I've noticed, I've noticed, but I heard too, that if you are using Dollar Tree vinyl and you have a Cricut, put your settings down a little bit to the lighter settings, and because if you don't, a lot of times it kind of cuts through the back paper as well. So as you see there, I was just hot gluing my burlap to the sign here on the side, and then I'm doing the same thing with my ribbon. Just going to add some hot glue and glue that right down, and then I'm going to add some leaves. I'm going to add a couple leaves on my sign here, one there and then one up by the thankful word. And once I have that all on, I'm going to add some of that berry garland, and I'm going to cut a couple of strands, and I'm just going to connect them right over my ribbon. Oh my goodness. So I was going to just start wrapping it, but I decided to go ahead and cut it and then just make 2 strands. And that's what I end up doing. I just end up cutting down 2 strands and kind of crisscrossing them over each other. And then I'll just connect them. And I think I put a little dab of hot glue on the back where they're connected. I think. I don't remember. Anyways, I took my leaf ribbon here, and I'm just making a bow by doing the awareness ribbon and then scrunching it up. And then I'm just going to use some jute twine to tie a knot. And after I have that done, I'll trim off the extra twine there, and then I'm going to dovetail my ends and fluff my bow. And as you can see there, I have a little burlap pumpkin. I just recently got that at Dollar Tree. And they have the alligator clips on the back, and I just pulled it out. And then I took this heather pick from Walmart that I just recently got, and I took 2 of the picks from it, and I just hot glued them there. And then I'm putting the bow over it, and I'm going to hot glue that pumpkin right above that bow. And then I took this little sunflower from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to add it to the bottom part of that bow.
Okay, DIY number 1. So I'm going to take a 12-inch wood round from Dollar Tree, a 10-inch from Hobby Lobby, and that wood ring from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint them all with my Spiced Pumpkin by Decor. Once they were done, I'm taking my Type Bond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue, and I'm going to go around the back side of that MDF ring that came from Dollar Tree. After that, I'm going to just glue that onto that 12-inch wood round. And then I'm going to take some of the Dollar Tree clamps and just kind of clamp them together and give it about 5 minutes to fully set. I did use that little baby wipe there to wipe off all the excess glue. Then I found this saying on Cricut Design Space, and I used my Frisco stencil vinyl, and I cut it out and adhered it to my sign, and I'm going over it with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Cashew.
And once it was dry, I'm going to pull off that vinyl. Now, I let it dry because I have found that when I pull this up before it dries, it pulls up the paint. So I like to let it dry so that it doesn't pull up the paint. Then I'm just going to use my weeding tool to go in and pull up all the little extra pieces that need to come up. Then I took my smaller wood round, I laid it where I want it. I'm using a pencil to trace around it. And then I'm going to take my Tite Bond wood glue, I think this is the ultimate, and I'm just going to put that right in the middle, and then I'm going to go around it with my hot glue, and then I'm going to lay that sign right in the middle, right where I had outlined it. And after that, I am going to take these, this beaded garland. Now I get these at Walmart. They were, when I got this, it was $5.98. I've got them for the last couple of years. I love having them. There's all kinds of different ones, so keep an eye out for them. They're like 6 feet, so you get a lot of beads. But I put some hot glue on the bead that was on the end to keep it in place, and then I'm going to go around that little groove with my Tite Bond multi-surface glue, and I'm going to add my, I decided, I'm going to probably cover up these holes. I better add my hanger. So I put some um, tape around the end of the twine, and I'm just going to thread it through real quick. And then I went ahead and added my beads, and I'm just going to go around and push them right into that glue until I come around to the other end. And then I'm just going to snip it off, and I'm going to add a little hot glue to the end of that one is, I think I removed one of those beads. Yeah. I'm going to add a little hot glue there, and then I snipped off the excess string, and I tried to tie knots, but that string is really, really fine, and it would have taken like 10 knots probably. Anyway, so I decided just to add the hot glue. Then I decided to go ahead and add some tape on the end of my hanger and string some of those beads onto the hanger as well. And I love how this came out. It's so pretty. So then when I got as many beads as I wanted, I just went ahead and strung that through and then tied a knot on the back side of it. Then I took some of these Dollar Tree sunflowers, and I'm just going to hot glue them, 3 of them on the top part of my sign. And honestly, you guys, the only fall flowers I have are sunflowers. I went crazy with sunflowers this year. I took some of these Dollar Tree leaves. These are just some neutral color leaves. I thought they were so pretty, and I thought they would be perfect to go with the cashew color paint and the neutral color beads that we added. And then after that, I think I added 3 leaves on each side is what I ended up doing. And then after that, I am going to take some of these little wood leaves from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to glue 3 of them on my sign. Now, I got this idea. I saw signs very similar to this on Amazon for 15 bucks. And I thought, 15 bucks, I could make it for a lot less than that. Anyways, I'm going to take some of this ribbon. Now, the orange ribbon, I think I cut it 10 and 12 inches. And I think the loops were 12 and the tail was 10. These, I believe, are 8. And then I think I did the tail 6. I believe that's what I did. And once I got them done, I'm going to take the 2 longer pieces. I'm going to glue them end to end like you see. And then I'm going to scrunch them up in the middle, just making a little bow look like that. And then I'm going to put one on top of the other. And then I'm going to take the orange ones that I made 3 of them, doing the same thing, scrunching them up in the middle. And I'm going to lay them on one on top of each other, just like you see. And then I'm going to put the plaid ones right in front of them, hold them in place, take some twine, and I'm going to tie a knot around them to hold them together. And then I did an actual knot, and then I'm going to take the tails, I'm going to put the plaid on top of the orange, and I'm going to tie the twine around that, and making sure that as I did that the tails came forward. Then I dovetailed the ends by folding them in half and cutting at an angle, and I'm just going to hot glue it right in place there, and there it is. I just think this came out so beautiful. I hope you like this too. Let me know in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 4. So I'm going to take this bamboo cutting board from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint it with my ivory. I almost left it that color. I kind of went back and forth, but I ended up in the end deciding to paint it with my ivory. Then once it was dry, I took my Mod Podge and I am going to go over the whole front with my Mod Podge there. Had to dig something out. Oh my goodness. Anyways, once I had the Mod Podge all on there, I let it dry. Then I took this piece of rice paper image that Kathy Jo sent me. She got this from decoupagenapkin.com. I thought it was so cute. I added some water to my brush and went over the edges and then ripped it so it just gives it a little more of a natural look, so it's not so stark straight edges. I hope that makes sense. Am I making sense today, you guys? I hope so, because I feel like I'm not. Anyways, I put my parchment paper on top, went over it with my heat press, and then added some more Mod Podge to help protect that rice paper. Look how cute that little turkey is. He's so cute. Anyways, once I was done, I kept thinking, what am I going to do with this? So I had run to, when I went to Hobby Lobby to get my floral foam, I saw a sign and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. So I took one of these little wood cutout or plaques from Dollar Tree, not Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby. I painted it with my ivory. I wrote "Eat Ham" on it. And then I took, I think this is espresso from Distressed Oxide ink. And at first it looked kind of reddish and I'm like, oh, I like this. But then as it dried, it got more grayish brown. And I'm like, wait, that's not the color I wanted. And then I was kind of getting a little too heavy handed with my stamping there. And like, well, let's just kind of brush this around and see if it gives it a more rustic look. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like that. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to fix it? So I grabbed my baby wipe here and I just started smearing it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, that's looking good. But as it dried, see how it kind of looks orange, and then as it dries, it turns gray. And I'm like, I don't like that. That's not the color I was going for, because the colors in that picture, there were some orangey colors, rusty kind of colors. So I thought, okay, so I grabbed, this is the one I originally wanted to use. I think it's Vintage Photo. And I just took a little finger dauber and I just went around the edge of it, and that kind of helped bring out some of the reddish tones, orangish tones, whatever you want to say, all around the edge. And I liked it a little bit better, but I was still like, is this going to work? I mean, anyway, so, oh, no, 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 no. I take that back. What was the other one? This is the right one. I don't remember what that other color was. It wasn't working either. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to take hot glue. I'm going to glue that to the top corner of my sign. And then I took this little skewer, I painted it, and I am going to glue it right below it, so it looks like the turkey's holding an "Eat Ham" sign. I thought that was so cute. I took 3 tumbling tower blocks together. I glued them together with hot glue. And then I'm going to use my Type Bond glue and hot glue to glue it to the back for a stand. I do end up painting that with my, I think I did. I think I painted it. I got to check with my ivory paint so it would match. And there it is. I think it is so adorable. You have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, here's DIY number 3. I told you guys, whimsical. Oh, this one is so funny. Okay, I'm going to use this decal I created off my Cricut. I'm going to use one of these giant craft sticks from Walmart. I'm also going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle and Maize. I'm also going to use ink and crimson. And then I'm going to use one of these mason jar wood cutouts. I believe I got these off of Amazon. So I started off by painting the craft stick with my ink and the top part of my mason jar with ink, and then the bottom part with truffle. And I did this front and back. Once they were all dry, I am using my pencil here to kind of draw out the face. I know it's hard for you to see. I could barely see it myself, but I cannot draw freehand on my own. I really can't. So I did get something off Pinterest that I saw that I thought was great. It was this turkey face thing, but it was on a different, I don't know, boards or something. But I thought, okay, I'm going to trace this face out on my little mason jar here. So I don't know what they call that red part on a turkey. Does anyone know? If you do, let me know in the comment box. But that's what that red part was. And then I'm just using my maize here to paint out the beak. I had to change out to a really small brush there so I could get close to the red without, going over it. So then I'm going to start over on the other side of the beak and get that all painted in here too. You'll see that in just a sec. And yeah, it's a big beak, huh? Once I have this all painted, then I dried it, and then I took a white paint marker and I'm making the eyes. But after I make them, I look how crooked they are. Like I said, I'm not good at freehand. So I decided to start painting in the middle of the eyes there, but it just wasn't turning out. It was kind of I don't know if my pin's drying out or what. So I decided to just go ahead and get my white paint and a paintbrush, and I just ended up painting it in. And yeah, that one it's not very round, huh? It's got some flat spots. Oh my goodness. I should have found something to trace, really, but oh well, it is what it is, right? It makes it more whimsical and fun. So after I had the eyes all painted in, I put one little dot here by that red thing, and then I took my black marker and I'm just painting the eyeballs of the turkey on the top part of the eyes, trying to make these a little more even too. But you know, it's kind of hard when the white part is not very even itself, but you know, it's fun. So once I have this all colored and painted in, then I'm going to take my, I'm still taking the black. I'm trying to make some eyelashes. It's really hard to see those eyelashes against that brown. I probably should have used the thicker side of my marker. But here I'm trying to make the little lines on the beak of the turkey. My pen was not wanting to work because I don't know. Anyways, okay, so I took a different marker. This is my Arteza paint marker. It's one of the blue colors. I don't remember the color. Just going to color in underneath his eyeball. And again, I'm not doing this freehand. I am copying something off of Pinterest because I cannot do this kind of stuff myself. But, you know, I think the more I copy, the more I'll learn and the more I'll figure it out on my own, right? So once I had that all colored in, I took my white marker here and made a little dot in there for the pupil, and then just kind of made a few little light dots on his eyes. After that, I took my decal and I'm putting it onto my craft stick here. And then I'm going to use again my Titan. What is that? Yeah, is it Tight Bond? No, what is it? Yeah, Tight Bond. I don't know why I'm anyways, okay, Tight Bond and hot glue. And I put that on the back of my craft stick and added it to my mason jar. And then I took my maze here and I'm just going to paint kind of like that little buckle that you see like on a pilgrim. I guess this is a little pilgrim turkey dude. I don't know. Oh my goodness, but I think he's so cute. I think it's fun and whimsical, which is what I was going for. And I'll tell you guys, I was started 2 other projects and decided I just did not want to do. Like I said, I'm getting tired of fall, and they were just, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. I really wanted something whimsical, so I quickly scrapped those ideas and started something new. So here I'm just making him a little bow tie. I took this ribbon, hot glued the ends together, and then scrunched them in the middle and took some twine to keep it scrunched. And then I'm just going to hot glue this down by his neck so this little turkey has a bow tie. And then once I have him this hot glued, I'm just going to kind of hot glue the ends of the bows there to keep them down. Then I took my big mouth crocodile and I'm making some holes so that I can add a hanger, and then I'm just going to add some jute twine for a hanger. And that's really all there was for this cute little whimsical turkey. And there he is. You have to let me know what you think about him as well. Oh my gosh, I think he's adorable. Okay, DIY number 2. So I'm going to take these adorable rub-on transfers. I just got these from Amazon. They are in my Amazon store if you want to look them up. But let me tell you, I put a few of these in my Amazon store and some of them were really low on inventory. But look how beautiful they are. Oh my goodness. They are just that Those little squirrels are just so stinking cute. So I'm going to take, look at that one, looks so happy with his little acorn there. Anyways, I'm going to take my ruler here. I decided which one I wanted. I marked where that picture is going to be, and then I'm going to use my painter's tape here to tape off that section, and then I'm going to paint the middle of it with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Cashew. Once it was all dry, I removed that painter's tape, and I'm going to take my rub-on transfer here, and I'm going to lay it right inside of that painted area. Look how cute they are. Anyways, I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to take my little rubbing tool here. I'm just going to rub and rub and rub. Not very much. These things stick pretty easily. And then I'm going to pull up that transfer tape. Now the transfer tape is very sticky, so it did take a little bit to kind of get it to come up. I did pull up a little bit of paint, but you know what? I thought it looked fine with the whole image. So I think my granddaughter counted these for me. I think there's 48 little beads and or half beads, and I put them on some painter's tape, and I'm going over them with my Deco Art burnt orange acrylic tape paint. And then I let them dry, or I dried them, and then I laid them out where I wanted to put them, and I'm using my square ruler there to kind of keep them all straight, and I'm just using my Titebond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue. I'm going to glue each one of those all along my picture. You guys, I absolutely love this picture. So then I took one of these chunky wood pieces from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint it with Waverly chalk paint in the color Cashew. I have not been able to find these lately. I think I'm going to have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get a big one and cut it down because I love those things. Anyways, I took three more tumbling tower blocks, glued them together end by end. I'm not going to paint them. I'm just going to use my Titebond glue and hot glue, and I'm going to glue them to the back side of that chunky wood piece. And then I'm going to use my Titebond glue and wood glue, and I'm going to glue my sign to that. That's going to be on the back of my sign. If you recreate this and want to paint your stuff, go right ahead. I just did not feel like it, so I didn't. And I took some of these leaves. I've got these this year from Amazon. They're instead of maple leaves, they're oak leaves, and I really like them. They kind of got a shiny hue to them, which makes them look a little more real. But I'm just going to glue some along that base there, and then I'm going to take those acorns. I'm going to glue some all around that. I just figured it matches with the sign because the squirrels have some leaves and acorns. And then I wanted to cover up those hanger holes because we're not going to need to hang it. So I'm just going to add some twine. I'm just dabbing a little bit of hot glue here and there. And then I'm just going to wrap it. I think I wrapped it about 4 times, just going upward all around. That way we made sure to cover the holes so that way it's not so apparent. Then I'm just going to make another 2-loop finger bow here, and I'm just going to hot glue that right into the middle of where I put the twine up at the top there. And here, we'll get there in just a moment. There we go. And then I'm just going to glue that in place. And then I thought, okay, it needs a little something more. So I took a few more of those leaves and I just glued one on each side of the bow. And that's all I did for this. I thought about using an acorn, but that just looked like it was a little too much. But I love how this came out. I just think it is so stinking adorable. I hope you like this one too. Let me know in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 3. So I am going to take 4 of the smaller wood planks, the hanging ones you get from Dollar Tree. I am going to measure them to be about 1/4 of an inch apart. I want to see those little gaps. Once I had it all laid out, I took some of these giant craft sticks. I don't know if they're the giant or the jumbo, but they're the biggest ones from Walmart. I'm going to trace them because the first craft stick that I put on there, I did wrong. I did like this. I went ahead and put my wood glue and hot glue all along it. And the whole reason why I traced it out was because I didn't want to do it this way, because after I did the first one, I'm like, oh, you're going to see the glue in between those slats. And then what do? I do it just like that again. And just as I'm laying it down, I realize, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So don't do it like that. Do it like this. So here I am just taking my wood glue and hot glue and putting it on the back of those little hanging slats or whatever you want to call them. And then I'm going to lay my my craft sticks on top of that, right where I marked them. Yeah, anyways. So then I painted it with this Deco Art Burnt Orange, which is my new favorite color. Or I should say favorite orange color. And then I took this piece of paper. This came actually from a Christmas paper pack from Hobby Lobby. And I just thought, oh, this would be perfect. So I'm going to lay my acorn out. And this is from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to trace it out just like you see. And then, of course, I'm going to cut it out. And then I will, I don't remember what I do. Oh, I set it aside because I decided to paint it with that rich espresso again. And I paint the front and the back. Well, I painted yeah, I guess I did paint the whole thing. I thought I was going to, yeah. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just covered the top part of it where I'm going to put that paper with some Mod Podge here. And I make sure when I do it with paper, when I'm adding Mod Podge for paper, I do try to make a thicker coat since the paper is usually a little thicker. Excuse me, guys. And then after that, I set it aside to dry. Then I took some of these wood letters and I'm going to paint them with my burnt orange. Now, the cursive letters come from Amazon. The non-cursive letters come from Hobby Lobby. After I painted those, I went ahead and added my paper to the front of my acorn here using the parchment paper and heat press method. And then I'm just going to go over it again with some more Mod Podge. And I'm putting the Mod Podge on my brush and brushing over it. That way I don't get as much, because sometimes if you get too much Mod Podge, your paper will bubble up. And then I just use my finger sander to sand off any excess over the edge. Then I took some of this beautiful braided jute rope that I get from Amazon as well. I love this. And I'm just going to add it to the top there. Then I took my letters and my Titebond Quick and Thick multi-purpose glue, and I am going to add these on. Now I do have these wood letters, I believe, in my Amazon store if you're interested in them. I love it because it gives it a little bit different look than your normal just standard letters. And I love how they're angled so that they connect to make it look a little more like handwriting instead of just print. And I'm just using my Titebond. I use my Titebond because, you guys, this stuff it's so thick and it is very quick, like the name, because it really does set very quickly and I love it. So after I had that done, I laid my acorn on my little slats here and I traced it out so I would know where to put my hot glue and my wood glue, because again, I didn't want to have glue seeping through those slats there. And then I'm going to just add my acorn right to it, making sure it matches right inside of the lines that I traced. Then I'm going to take some of this ribbon. I believe I got this from Walmart last year. I'm going to make a bow doing the awareness ribbon, scrunching it up in the middle. I'm going to take this ribbon, which came from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to do the same thing, and then I'm going to connect those together with some twine. And I'm just going to tie a knot in the back and then trim off the excess. And then after that, I'm going to dovetail the ends, which you just fold it in half and cut at an angle. And then after that, I'm going to use my hot glue and glue that right to the top part of my acorn. And then I had these little squirrel bamboo skewer things that I got from Amazon, or not Amazon, Hobby Lobby. I think I got these last year. I'm going to remove that little skewer and hot glue that little squirrel right in the middle of the bow, and then I'm just going to add my hanger in the back, and that's all there is for this one. I love this one too. I love those colors. I just think it's so fall. Anyways, you have to let me know what you think about this one as well in the comment box below.